But for the most successful people on the planet, it wasn't the peak. It was just base camp. Today, we're going to break down the actual blueprint they used to get there, the foundation for everything that came next.
So, how did they really do it? It's the question we've all wondered, right? You see these huge companies, these massive fortunes, and you think there has to be some kind of secret. But what if I told you it's not some complicated financial magic trick? It's actually a lot simpler, and the whole story starts long before the billions.
Our minds always jump to the same old stories, that they must have been born with a silver spoon, a huge inheritance. Or maybe they just got ridiculously lucky, like a lottery ticket moment. Or they just woke up one day with a perfect, fully formed billion-dollar idea. But honestly, those are almost always just myths. Yeah, the real story, the truth, is something else entirely. It's not about magic. It's not about random luck. It's about a specific, and believe it or not, a repeatable strategy.
And that brings us right to the heart of it all. Before anyone gets to the billions, there is always a first million. And that first million, it's so much more than a number. It's the whole foundation. It's the proof of concept. It's the hardest part of the entire journey. And understanding how that gets done, well, that's where the real secret lies. So let's get into it. Let's start by totally debunking this billionaire myth, because the real story of incredible success, it doesn't start with 9 zeros. It starts somewhere much, much smaller. All right, so if it's not about being born rich or getting lucky, then what is it about? Well, it all boils down to just a few core principles. Think of this as the DNA of the venture, the absolute bedrock that every single one of these success stories is built on. Okay, this first one is a huge mindset shift. Most of the world operates on one model, trading time for money. Your job, your salary. It's safe, but it's always capped. The path we're talking about is completely different. It's about trading your ideas for equity. And equity is just a fancy word for ownership, a piece of the pie. I mean, think about it. Jeff Bezos didn't get wealthy because of his Amazon salary. He got wealthy because he owned a massive chunk of the company's stock. That right there is the game-changing difference. But here's the catch. Owning a piece of the pie doesn't matter if the pie doesn't get any bigger. You need to own something that can grow. This is the principle of scale. I love this story. Sarah Blakely, she started Spanx with just $5,000 of her own savings. She didn't invent some crazy new technology. She just solved one simple, common problem with a product that she could sell to millions and millions of people. That's how you get to the first million. You find an idea that has the potential to scale way, way up. So how do you manage that kind of insane growth? The playbook is actually super consistent, and it starts with this: focus first. Think about Facebook. It didn't launch to the entire planet on day one. No way. It started in a tiny, super specific niche, a single college network. They proved the model worked right there, ironed out all the kinks, and only then did they start to expand globally. And it wasn't just them. Amazon ran the exact same play: focus first, scale later. Back in 1995, what did they sell? Just one thing: books. That's it. Once they totally dominated that one market, then they expanded into the everything store, and later into completely new worlds like cloud computing with AWS. You see the pattern? Master a niche, then go wide. Okay, so those are the principles for the business itself. Now let's switch gears and talk about how you actually put this blueprint to work. This is all about your mindset, your actions. The first key action is something called leverage. It sounds complex, but it's a really simple, really powerful idea. It just means you use one win to fund the next one. You don't cash out and go home. You use the momentum to build something even bigger. And honestly, the poster child for this is Elon Musk. His first big win wasn't Tesla. It was a software company called Zip2. He took his share from that sale and plowed it into his next idea, PayPal. And when PayPal sold for a fortune, what did he do? He leveraged that massive payout to make his biggest, wildest bets yet, Tesla and SpaceX. See how it works? Each win was just the launching pad for the next, bigger one. That is a leverage in action. All right, let's talk about what happens when you do get some money in the bank. Let's look at maybe the most famous investor of all time, Warren Buffett. He made his first $1 million at the ripe old age of 32. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds a little older than some of these tech founders, right? But there was a hugely important lesson in that number. You see, he didn't hit that milestone by earning a huge salary and then spending it. He got there by aggressively reinvesting every single dollar of profit he made.
He let the incredible power of compounding do all the heavy lifting for him. This shows us something critical. The first million isn't just something you earn, it's something you grow. Next up, let's talk about timing. Because timing, oh man, it matters. A lot. Every single one of these people positioned themselves at the very beginning of a massive new wave. Bezos saw the internet coming. Zuckerberg saw social media before anyone else. Musk got into online payments and then EVs when they were just getting started. They all had a knack for seeing where the world was going and getting there first.
Now, being early means you have to take risks, for sure. But these weren't just wild, random gambles. They were calculated risks. Bezos left a super secure, high-paying job. Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard. Musk risked his entire fortune from the PayPal sale. These were huge, scary bets, but they were all based on a clear, logical vision of what the reward could be. They bet big, but only when they saw a path to victory.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. The big takeaway from this blueprint isn't just a shopping list of rules. It's about how all these pieces connect to create a self-reinforcing system, something we can call the flywheel effect. And you have to remember, this massive, powerful flywheel doesn't start with some grand 10-year plan. No, it all starts small. It starts with one opportunity you spot, one idea you decide to chase, one single move that you decide to make. And from that one single move, the flywheel starts to turn. You create something you can then leverage. You find a way to scale it. Crucially, you make sure you own it. And then you reinvest the rewards to make that flywheel spin even faster. This is the playbook. It's the cycle. And that's because that first million is by far the hardest. It takes the most energy, the most force to get that giant flywheel spinning from a dead stop. But the lesson from all of this is so clear. Once you do it, once you get that momentum going, everything that comes after gets just a little bit easier. So that leaves us with one final question, a question for you to take with you. Looking at this entire blueprint, what's the one thing in your world, a problem you see, an idea you have, an opportunity that's right there? What's the one thing you can build, own, and scale?